People in first world countries, people where there's aid for everything, for housing, health, they have no clue what they're talking about. People who the minimally paying jobs still allow them to have rent or pay rent in a good area, they have no clue. They have no clue what they're doing when they give their 2 cents to people who haven't asked for it. People in Africa who have no money. There's this video there are videos I come across of this lady, I believe she's in South Africa. But then you'll see people telling her, just from one glimpse of a video where she's eating vegetables, imagine that. People can still find something negative in a child who is super obese eating vegetables. No cream, all healthy vegetables. Well, she needs what's it called? She needs protein too. It's one little meal. One little meal. And you know what the worst part is? The mom was celebrating that her angel had agreed to eat vegetables that day. And you're coming up with, oh, but she must also have protein. Clearly, she obviously does. And are you going to buy her that protein? Are you going to buy her that protein? Tell me. Another one. You should also send it to a nutritionist. Are you going to pay for that nutritionist? Not even in the UK are they just nutritionists just hanging around. There's no free protein. Why is it that people don't think? Why is it that people have no empathy? They don't look at this woman's situation. The fact that she's doing this, sharing it, showing the struggle already shows that she's doing her best, her darned best. All of these other things are things she knows about but cannot afford. Are things a doctor who has been dealing with the child has said might not be, or might have said, are not useful for her situation. Just stop and just shush, man. So, firstly, you need to be thankful that you have access and money for the nutritionists, access and money for the vegetables and the protein. Just leave the comments for those who will celebrate with the mom that her child actually agreed to eat vegetables for once. Something that's necessary. Man, we are just, oh man, I don't know. But be thankful that you have what you have because clearly you have much more than we will ever have. And go and talk to each other. If you know your sister can afford a nutritionist, go and talk to her about her need to see a nutritionist or offer to pay for it. Now we're going to the actual video that I wanted to share. Okay, first, before I move on to what are you thankful for today, I just wanted to. There's this young man who I really loved. Well, I'm sure I still love him, but he started going to another church or disappearing with his fiancee, now wife, and I hope he doesn't mind because he commented with his name and my channel is public, so I hope he doesn't mind. But I have to address him before I move on to what I'm thankful for today. I'm going to you'll see his comment, but I'm just going to say this. The people who I speak of as the church are the people who I began my journey with at that church when I moved there in 2008. That is the church. The people who were there when, unbeknownst to me, they knowingly, I'm so adopted, my brain fog, they knowingly elected an elder who was a wife beater and an adulterer. Those people who were there. Because my friend and I, when we were emailing them, this is what we were talking about. Why is it that this keeps happening? Where you put up front people who shouldn't be up front, and most importantly, or worse yet, besides the fact that it's not pleased, God doesn't want wolves in sheep's clothing, speaking to his lambs, but more importantly, to the detriment of their wives' emotional and psychological health, and in the other one's case, spiritual health. So you, young man, you came way after that all happened. So he's saying that he didn't know. Otherwise, he and his wife would have been a support. And yeah, I don't even expect it from someone like him. Expect it from the veterans who have been there all along, who knew that this was now the third time I'm finding out that someone is being unfaithful. Really? Third time? By now, you should be just giving up and saying, okay, Ephraim hath joined himself to idols. Let him alone. Shun him, as the Bible says. But they didn't. So you know what has been happening behind the scenes with the leaders who knew. But here is another example, which I did write in my comment, by a church member, lady my age. And I always used to say, is it that she didn't marry for love? So she doesn't know what it means to love someone, to assume you are loved, and then it turns out, no, he doesn't love you. He only loves himself. He doesn't love God, that's for sure. You thought you were marrying a godly husband who loved God, but you lied to yourself. He lied to you. I don't know. I don't think she understands. And I thought maybe it's because she's rural. Maybe because she grew up in rural country up there, not in South Africa. That's why she can't reason and see how painful this is for me as a wife who gave up everything, and also how painful it is for me and the things I believed that have been proven false. Last time when this happened, she came to us after church and said, I'm so sorry, I'm praying for you too. The devil is really attacking families. I might have said this. The devil is really attacking families. I'm praying for you too. What is that really telling the guilty party? It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you went around pursuing women. It's not your fault that you were writing to course coordinators, flight coordinators to say, I want to sit next to her. It's not you. The devil made you do it. You're innocent. That is the message she gave him that time. What was she telling me? It's not him. He didn't commit adultery. The devil did. He didn't lie to you. The devil did. He's done nothing wrong. That's the message. And all these years, since then, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. When I found that out, I thought, okay, now she will see it. Now she will see how horrific, appalling, disgusting, horrifying this is for an elder teacher, infamous and famous in our church little circles, to do this. So I told her, oh no, he's doing it again. He's gone back to that woman. It took me a lot to even write it because I didn't feel that she was safe. But I was hoping that through time and wisdom, especially as when we'd both been sharing about our husbands and how they're not acting like husbands. Don't love you, don't ask how your doctor's appointment went. But now her husband apparently was being nicer now. So her husband has changed and become kinder. He never pretended he married her for love, but he's become more loving. But on my end, my life was still stagnant. No, it was still hurtful, painful, unkind, unloved. So she knew that, right? There's that foundation. My friend is not loved by her husband. How will I then react when she tells me he's being unfaithful as well? I know how I would act. I know what I said to another woman before I even knew what it felt like. I said to her, I'm so sorry. In a way, this is worse than death because you did this on purpose. He knowingly broke your vows. Death comes to someone, your husband, out of the blue, but now you're getting divorced. You'll be without a husband and a husband who betrayed you. I'm really sorry. That's what you say. And I didn't even know the husband from Adam. I wouldn't have even been able to recognize him if I'd seen him. I knew her. But I knew what it means to commit adultery. So I told her. You know what her response was? I'm sorry about that. That was it. That is the sum total of my church lady's response to my husband again, continually, consistently being unfaithful, consistently, continuously living a lie, consistently and always being cruel, abandoning me in every way, emotionally. Like, that's the response. I'm sorry about that. It's like I stubbed my toe. I'm sorry about that. That was it. That was the sum total of that lady's response when I told her directly. That after that, she was the last one, first and last one, who I told directly as a member of that church. because the others, it's not like it matters. It doesn't matter. My pain doesn't matter. God's honor being, God, like the sacrifice of Christ on the cross being dishonored doesn't matter. So I didn't tell anyone else. I told those men and I told her. And that was her response. So those are the people who, in terms of support, they are the ones who should have been supporting me as the innocent, betrayed one, but don't know what support means, don't know what it is, don't care, because they're busy supporting the wolf in sheep's clothing. So yeah, don't stress, man. I wasn't even expecting you to understand it because, as you said, no one told you. You know, when some other guy did it in his own church, we all knew like in a flash and we shared it. Guys, so and so did this. What are we going to do? Because he used to come and preach at our church. It was like, my word, we invited this man, but he's not living what he teaches. And his poor wife, because he used to come with his wife and the children, we all knew. And for me, it was a painful burden. But I guess it's not a painful burden for those people because no one knows. It's just like, oh, well, shame is lost, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, there was no concern. And oh no, oh no. Okay, now that we've gone over that, I have a very bad flare of Sjogren's at the moment. So it has caused joint pain and everything is just drier than normal. So bear with me, I'm sorry. My lips are even more irritating than normal and it irritates me a lot. Yes? Okay, they're not here. Come in. What are you thankful for today? I am thankful for the Western Cape and its clinic help for the underprivileged. I assume it's under the DA, Democratic Alliance political party. I assume they make sure it's running, but I'm thankful, so thankful, because I knew in the news all you hear about are the clinics in our most impoverished townships having no medicine for months, no medicine. And these people can't afford to buy medicine for months, no medicine at all. There are clinics with nurses and doctors, but what's the point if there's no medicine to give? So our government clinics provide medication as well, not only a consultation with the GP, but also medication. And I'm thankful for that. Our Western Cape government, at least in Crossroads, is working well. And that's a township, a very poor township, one of those which has an extremely high crime rate, one of the highest in Cape Town, is that area. But still, it's moving smoothly. Of course, you will sit in a long queue, you will sit for hours because there's so many of you who need help. So you'll arrive at 6 a.m., maybe leave at 3 p.m., and you arrive at 6 a.m. for the doors to open at 9 or 8, just so that you're not too far. You're not like right at the back of the queue. So you'll arrive 2 hours before it even opens. So they arrive at the hospital, at the clinic, and now imagine all those people waiting and waiting. But then when they're seen, they can't be helped. It's devastating, worrying, scary. And how many people died because they couldn't be given any help? So we've got my daughter's birth sister, the 20-year-old with the 1.5-year-old child, and her little sister who's 2.5, thereabouts, and then the mother who was in psychiatric care. Last week the babies got sick, and as always, the girl's child, baby, was sicker, much worse. It was torture, and it got worse on a Friday night. So Saturday morning, no clinics are open. I felt so bad for them, but I don't want to. Yeah, I felt so bad for them. I'll stop there with that. And it's just sad. It is very sad that you don't have the money to go to a GP and say, please help us. So she waited until Monday. She took him to the clinic and they were seen by a doctor, given medication, given antibiotics, given pain medicine, given I've forgotten the third medication, but given medication. Oh yes, it was multivitamin syrup, Panado, pain block, same thing, and the antibiotic. Awesome. For free. I am glad that our tax goes to such cases. When you know poverty-stricken people, when you live with them, when you see them in your uncle, your auntie, your brother, your sister, it's so soothing to know that your tax, I almost said dollars, your tax rands are going to help people who need as much help as possible. So many burdens she's bearing. That one was one less burden. I am thankful for our education department, our health department in the Western Cape, for making sure that people have access to treatment. Truly grateful. When you've not there, when you've got money, you pay for the GP, and then you go and you take your script and you go to the pharmacy and pay for your medication. But they've put it all in one place for free for those who need it. I'm thankful that it's working here in the Cape. I don't know if it's all townships, but I'm thankful for her sake. And I really hope that in other provinces, Gauteng is seemingly the worst. I hope that things improve there. And if it is about the political parties, I don't vote. But if you do vote, please vote wisely. Your children's lives depend on it. And I'm still thankful, grateful on her behalf. He's gotten better, she's relaxed, and she is thankful that she got what she needed to get for her precious son. See you later, guys.